Good morning everyone, how are we doing? I'm currently on the way to my girlfriend's house and I just want to have a little quick chat on the way, something that's been mooching around my mind. And does empathy, being an empathetic person, have a big link to our health anxiety, to our anxiety? And I think it does. I'm a very empathetic person, so I see a situation and it's almost like I transport into their body and feel their emotions. So I can walk down a road or in a high street and I can see someone that might look a little bit in distress or a bit anxious, and I start feeling it straight away. And it's a very odd feeling, and I know it's called. It probably has a name. I have looked it up, but I started thinking about when unfortunately my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and this was 16 years ago now, being Father's Day yesterday. And me and my dad didn't have a great relationship up until I was a little bit older, and we had a year where it was actually really nice. We went fishing, we did some trips. We still didn't quite see eye to eye. We still didn't quite suit, but I think now, even though he's no longer with us, we'd probably be all right now. We'd probably get on quite well. So when my dad was in the hospice, I find it very hard to visit him due to his persona, how he looked. And I felt very selfish that I didn't visit him because I wasn't the one in the situation that he was in, and I just locked myself not locked myself in my room, but I literally just played Xbox. That is what I did for a solid month while he was there struggling and about to see his own life gone. So my situation was that it's like I felt like I was dying as well. And for a long time after that, my obsession of death came, where I couldn't stop thinking about dying, which I think is quite obviously related to that, which I find quite interesting. So with these videos, we're not trying to find a cure, we're trying to find the reason, because the reason is normally the cure. I don't know if that makes sense or not. When we kind of see where that trauma's come from, we can start thinking, oh shit, yeah, that makes sense, that does make sense. Which is why I became a people pleaser, because my dad was very hard to talk to, because we didn't have a good relationship. When I was younger, I had to be very careful what I said to my dad, because it would set his temper off. He had a bad temper. I don't know what he was like with other people, and yeah, so I become very wary of how I spoke to people as well, so I wouldn't want to upset anyone, and that come from not wanting to upset my dad. So that's one thing I found through therapy that I found the most interesting. But that's what I was thinking about, how empathy affects us, where we transport into that other person's body, and we take on their emotions and their feelings and everything that comes along with that, and then it builds up. It just builds and it builds and it builds until we pop. So it's a very nice thing. It's a nice way to be, but it's also a bad way to be, because it allows us to help people. When we see someone in a bad situation, it makes us want to help, which I think is very important and a very nice quality in a person. But it also would take on a lot of stress. It's the same as a therapist. Talking to someone every day about their emotions, you're taking on those emotions, and then that therapist then also needs therapy to unload. And I found that quite interesting. I'll leave it shortish, but it's definitely something to think about. I'd like to know what you think. If it's something that you've never actually put into perspective before, and maybe if you do watch this you think, oh actually no, that makes a lot of sense, that does make a lot of sense. But sweet, I hope everyone is looking after themselves and staying hydrated, and I'll catch you in the next one. I think next one I would like to talk about, what was it? Oh blimey, it was something. I'll get onto it. I'll write it down below. But yeah, look after yourselves. All the best. Ta.